Good day. It's me again, the retired postal worker, and there's lots of us out there. First of all, I wanted to make it clear that I used to be looking before I started at the post office. So look in the mirror. Anyhow, where I started a long time ago when I first got in is I bumped into a wonderful person who taught me all the ropes. It took me under his wing and showed me what I should be doing, and this is with the old LCUC union, and now we're a CUPW. Canada Post ordered all the unions. I think there was mechanics, and there was a whole bunch of people had to merge together into one bargaining unit because Canada Post applied to the labor board. It wasn't because CUPW wanted to take over a union or LCUC. No, they were happy separately. They were put together. So having said that, what I was taught back then was still relevant today, is take your contract, not your constitution, get your collective agreement, whether it's on a PDF on your computer. You can get a PDF of your contract and print out pages that you want. You can do whatever you want with it. Your contract, if you study it, take 15, 20 minutes every day. Just sit and relax and pick a subject, whether it's management's right to mismanage, or whether it's seniority, or whether, and look in the index and say, what does appeal to me? What is relevant to me at this moment? The grievance procedure is huge. You should have no interest in that whatsoever. That one is above your pay grade right about now. So what you do is to start off with a grievance. Is you have a grievance, which is a complaint in writing. So you go into the boss. This is you violated my rights by not picking me before you picked him or whatever, and he doesn't listen to you. That's your complaint stage. You're entitled to complain. That is your basic right. So now he doesn't do anything about it. You went there to complain, and you need an answer by this afternoon. So by the afternoon, he doesn't give you an answer, and you had a witness in with you. So the following day, you file a grievance with your union, and you know that's quite clear. That's all you have to know. That's it. Because when people get into these grievances, a grievance affects everybody. So you claim something, and everybody's going to be on the watch list. That, hey, maybe they're cheating other people. So you then say, it's my grievance, I can do what I want with it. It's not. It belongs to the union. So anyhow, so you go through there and you see Article 10, discipline. You look and see what kind of discipline's doled out for what you can do. Maybe Article 5, I even forget what that is, but Article 14, your holiday entitlements. If you take just one section at a time, you don't have to, it's overwhelming. There's things you don't need to know right now, not necessary. You can go into discipline and see what can I be disciplined for, and what is discipline, and what are my rights with discipline. You can do that. That's fine. That's Article 10. So, I mean, there's all kinds of things, staffing, holidays. Pick a subject and check it off once you don't have to be fully versed, you know. So that is my thing to you, is you learn that, because that's part of your job. Everything that's in the collective agreement is things they ram down your throat in the workplace. So you need to understand your collective agreement, but not all of it. So that's the important part. So being a shop steward, let's get into this. Being a shop steward, first thing you require, this is what I learned when I first started in 1981. What I first learned was, to be a shop steward, you do not have to be versed in the collective agreement. You have to be willing to listen to people's problems and take notes, be a good witness for them, that sort of thing. And then after a while, it all falls into place. But what you're doing is, once you get that done, every local should have a grievance officer. So you take the grievance, you get on the phone call, hello, I got a grievance here. Okay, you tell them what the grievance is. You'll say, that's a good grievance. And this is the articles. So you write down the articles, you tell the person, this is what you're grieving under, this is where your violation was. That's all you have to do. It's not, but you know what? It's rewarding, or else I wouldn't have done it for 33 years. It's rewarding when someone says, thank you very much. I saved people, or got money for people that management settled real quick. at the complaint stage, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Whether it's violating the Superimposing Act, the superimposing in the collective agreement is a big winner for you. So, I mean, this whole thing about, well, how come junior people can't get holidays? Read superimposing. You'll find out. And if you're on a PDF, you can just type in superimposing or holidays, and it brings everything to do with holidays up on the screen. They're PDFs, searchable PDFs. So that's what I'm suggesting to you. Second thing is your constitution. That's what runs your union, and that's what they have a convention for, not the negotiation convention. That's something else. They have a convention where everybody has an input, but they don't get personally to go to it. What you do is you pick a delegate that's going to go from your local, and you have a constitutional, like a meeting on the resolutions to change the if something you don't like in there, something you do like in there. And it goes from there, and then once everybody agrees, you send that off to the resolutions committee in your region, and then when it goes from there, it goes to a committee, or what do you call it, a convention, a regional convention. And then your ideas for changing the Constitution all go to Ottawa. So you have a say. You have a say at a meeting, and you got to make sure they hold those meetings. So the Constitution says, you say, well, I don't like the way they talk about Palestine or the pot or same sex and everything else. Read the Constitution. Read it. It tells you that the majority of members sent the majority of members in their locals and regions to Ottawa to put that in the Constitution. That was put in there by you, not by national office. The unions run from the bottom up. You want to know what your union reps in Ottawa get paid? It's in the Constitution. Not much more than what you get paid. And they're expected to work 6 days a week, plus evenings, plus meetings all over the place. Not an easy job, and they're doing it because they want to do it, not because there's any money in it. There's no money in it. We're one of the few unions that have this. And when it comes straight down to lawyers are called in for, let's say, kind of very tricky human rights, in the end, human rights kind of cases that are really hard. They'll get called in. But everything else is done by trained grievance advocates. And they're trained by the union. And you could be one too if you were interested. And a lot of people that have left being a trained advocate and have retired have gone on because it's the same system they use for insurance companies. It's arbitration. That's what insurance companies do. It's not a court. They negotiate with you, and then they go to kind of like similar to a arbitration night court thing and settle it. So when you retire, your journey could continue either helping the union and helping somebody with personal injury claims or insurance claims or WCB. You can do all kinds of stuff. It's kind of interesting. So you find all this in the Constitution, and it's also a searchable PDF. So you can look in pay or whatever. There it is. It's right in front of you, what they get paid. You say, what are their duties? And that's the other problem. They say, we never see them. We never see. Here's the chain of command. You have a rep in your station that you have to have. That person collects complaints, data, whatever, that you want to give them, and forwards it to a regional grievance officer. The regional grievance officer has these cases going, and they inform national office of what's going on. So it's just a chain of command. So you don't see a national officer that often, unless there's a very serious problem in your station. You don't see them. As a shop steward, that's the face you see every day. So be nice to them. So, you think, well, they control this. They go to negotiations and they do this and they do that. You run the negotiations through your negotiation committee that was set up of what you wanted and what you voted on in your station that you gave to your region. It's the same process. So if you sat at home and said, nothing ever happens, it's probably because you sat at home. So your union is like a fitness club. They don't come to your house and exercise you and lift your arms up and down. You have to go to the club. And Ken the Canadian Union of Postal Workers is a club. It's camaraderie. It's people that have so much information. We got so many wonderful people there, from Miriam Pollock to Dale Clark and George Floresco, and oh man, there's so many of them. Ivan Westerlung, all these people that are involved in the human rights committees and everything else. It's just wonderful people. So don't dump on them. Show them some respect. They're get station grievance officer or your union reps getting nothing. They don't even get a $50 a month or something. They don't even get that. So they're using their own time. Regional officers, some of them are paid, some of them are half-time, or not regional, in your local. Some of them are paid, some of them are not. Most of them are volunteer. Depends on the size of your local and what you want to do for them. So, and then in region, there is, I think, 3 or 4 paid officers, and they work their ass off. It's unbelievable how hard these people work to serve you. They're not serving themselves. What's in it for them? It's not money. But they see the injustice in your workplace and want to fix it. Why do you think if you're a person of color or a person that's in the LGBTQ plus group, why do you think there's not the harassment that there used to be in the workplace? It was your union. And another thing about your union is unions were always the ones that if you were a woman and went to work for a union company, you got paid the same. So maternity leave, the unions got maternity leave. The government didn't say, hey, let's get maternity leave and help women bond with their families. No, they didn't. We fought for it. Whether it was whatever group did the first one, we carried on with the fight. So that's all you have to remember. Read your collective agreement bit by bit. You cannot read it all at once. Pick the subjects you want first and work from there, and you'll find it to be very interesting, and maybe you've been chiseled out of money over the years. And it doesn't take long. It doesn't take them 15, 20 minutes. Even put it in the bathroom and use it for bathroom reading. Doesn't matter. Constitution, you read that and you'll see what a wonderful union we have. Way back in the, I guess it was the 70s, that CUPW had the decriminalization of marijuana. Where are we now? Decriminalized. Buy it in the store. So you, along with people like myself from the past, paved the way for where you are today. No different than if you're in a group differently abled, people of color. People before you paved the way. You just didn't leave home and all of a sudden everybody says, oh, you're a person of color, I'd love to hire you. No, that's not the way it worked. So people before you took a beating for you. I was fired for you. I wasn't fired for me. I could have got a job somewhere else. I just didn't listen to them when they told me, stay away from the picket line or we're going to fire you. And I said, well, I don't work for you right when I'm on a picket line. I represent my members. And I was fired along with a lot of other people. So people before you, show them some respect. They have paved the way. Sometimes it's bad and sometimes it's good, but most times it's for the good. What's in your collective agreement and in your Constitution was fought for. And right now it's you come in and they give it to you. You didn't have to fight for it. I respect everything I got when as I was my years at Canada Post, because I fought for everything. And sick leave, we gave up sick leave. I didn't give it up. Are you kidding? I was dead set against it. Sick leave, where they were going to they gave you a bonus. Then they took it away. This is, I think it was around 2008 or something. Took the bonus away and said, you know what? Let's replace the sick time with the bonus. So in other words, the sick time, if you don't use it, you get your bonus that you got before. But it's from not using your sick time. There's a reward for it. So guess what happened? My wife was a full-time postal worker that transferred to Sault Ste. Marie, and I was a full-time carrier. I got $200. She got $100. You know how many sick days I had? About 3. You know how many sick days she had? $90,000 worth. They took away from her and gave her $200. So you've got to think long-term. You can't just think, it's me, I'm my own entrepreneur, this is my own world. It's not your own world. You're in the world of a very progressive union that's supposed to stick up for each other. So if you don't want to stick up for each other, it may happen to you where nobody wants to stick up for you. So you have to be very careful. And I'm saying show your union reps more respect. There's all kinds of them out there, but ask them, was I a good union rep? I guess I was. I inspired people to be shop stewards. I inspired people to join human rights committees. I always made sure that row rooters, carriers, temps, all went to any educational events. Always. And I always challenged them when I was shop steward, I want you to take my job. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get smart and take my job at representing the membership. And that's what they do. So I wish you all luck in your negotiations again. I think I've said it in my last video. But this time, I really mean it, that you've got to be together. And, if you use the old technique where you take a piece of spaghetti and you hard spaghetti out of a package and put it in your hand and break it, you can break it with nothing. Put 3 pieces, a little harder. Take the whole package and hold it in your hand and try and break it, it's impossible. Pretty close to impossible unless you really put it over your knee and bent it. So that's where in numbers, that's what's going to save you. Not being, running to the boss and saying, I don't care what you take for me. I just want a job. I love working here. They don't care. They don't care about you. You are working at the post office until they find another way to do it. So while you're there, look after your job and don't take any crap from Canada Post. Thank you and have a great day.